Hello and welcome back in another video of sound testing or testing sounds. This is in this video we will be testing all the sounds of the 60 degrees V engines. As you can see, I already made a sound testing compact sound testing compact V6, V8 and V12. These are the 60 degrees ones, and let's start with the V6. As we all know, and as you all know from the previous videos, I made a comparison between three engines. The same specs goes on all of them. Same goes on these engines too. As you can see, this is the engine that I did. This is the V6. As you can see, 60 degrees V-shaped, 6-cylinder engine, aluminium block, 86 on the bore and stroke, which equals 3 liter. As you can see, dual overhead camshaft with 4 valves per cylinder, aluminium heads with variable valve lift technology, and we have cast iron crankshaft, cast connecting rod and low friction cast pistons. Zero quality, 10.5:1 is the compression ratio, 35 on the cam profile, 75 on the VVL profile. We also have variable valve timing on all cams, zero quality, naturally aspirated, and we have a direct fuel injection with single throttle body, standard intake manifold and intake system, premium 95 octane fuel, so I can get more headroom in the octane department, so I can tune the engine similar so I can tune all the engines similar to each others. And we have 15 on the air fuel ratio, which is extremely lean, so I can make the engine economical as well. 50 on the ignition timing, no need to go higher or lower. I want to keep the engines all similar. So 6,500 is the RPM limit with zero quality on the fuel system. We have short cast headers, dual exhaust pipes, because we are using V engines. When in my previous video I used an inline engine, and all inline engine has a single exhaust pipe, but since we have a V-shaped engine here, I will choose dual so I can make them similar. Right, so we have 2-inch exhaust diameter as before, high flow 3-way Carrier converters, and no first muffler and reverse flow second mufflers. Right, so this is the standard form. After we test this one, we will go on and try the performance package for this engine, switch the exhaust to performance exhaust, and then try the racing package and the racing intake with a racing exhaust system. Now let's fire it up at the standard form. As you can see, it's making 226 horsepower at 6,500 RPM, 195 pound-feet of torque at 4,600 RPM. Pretty much healthy horsepower and torque for a 3-liter V6. It's reliable, service cost is very low, it's very economical. No, I'm not using all the octane. I know I have a lot of headroom to reach 95 octane, but yes, the emissions are very low. The engine is heavy, you can say heavy, because the internals are made from cast, but the block and the heads made from aluminium. Production unit are good. The production engineering time is a little bit high for a mass-produced engine, but still good. As you can see, all these specs will go on all of the three engines. Now let's fire it up. This is how it sounds at idle. Very quiet, very smooth. As you can see and hear, the engine is very smooth and very elegant and quiet at low RPM. Even at high RPM, it's considerably, as you can see, very quiet. Right, now let's move on to the performance package. As you can see, we will switch the intake from standard to performance. Right, we gain more horsepower and more torque. As you can see, we have more fuel efficiency. The service cost, of course, it will cost more because you have to fix, for example, let me show you. We have a different intake manifold, as you can see, long runners. I'm not really sure about the throttle body, if it's big or not. Let's see. I think yes, we have a bigger throttle body, bigger snorkel here, and a different airbox. So all of this will cost you more as a service. The air filter will require more service because it will get dusty and dirty very quickly. And let's see, the intake manifold will be more expensive than the regular one if this one cracked or broke. The throttle body, of course, it's bigger, also will cost you more for a service. All right, now let's switch to a performance exhaust. I mean, the only thing you have to do, just remove the reverse flow mufflers and switch them to straight through mufflers. As you can see, we made more power and torque. We lost a little bit of fuel efficiency. As you can see, it's cheaper than reverse flow mufflers. That's cool, and it will require less time to be engineered. It's more lightweight, so it's a benefit. And it's louder, as you can see. 44 used to be before, now it's 57. Now let's fire up and see and hear the difference in sound. It's still pretty much quiet at idle. Alright, sounds very good. Now let's go to the racing package, or the racing, as you can see, intake. Alright, so we have I think these aluminium or stainless steel, I'm not really sure. I think these are aluminium runners. We have a carbon fiber intake manifold and carbon fiber snorkel, as you can see. Same size, the same throttle body size as performance. Alright, now let's switch to a racing exhaust. Remove all the mufflers. We have a straight through pipe, and that should give us, let's see, more power, as you can see, more torque. And the engine, yes, the engine is, as you can see, this is with straight through mufflers. Now without mufflers it will drop to 29.2 is the fuel efficiency. It will require 91.5 octane. The engine is extremely loud now. It's very lightweight, as you can see, 165 instead. We started in 171, this is 165, and it will require less time to be engineered. Now let's fire it up. Yes, it sounds very loud even at idle. As you can hear, it sounds very loud at 6,000 RPM. Start from 5,900 up to 6,500. It changed sound dramatically. I mean, of course, racing intake and racing exhaust, this intake and this exhaust needs a very much racing engine. That means a higher RPM, let's say to 8,000 RPM to 9,000, and a more aggressive camshaft, better internals, more fuel, more ignition timing, and it will be a true racing engine. But the sound of this V6 is just absolutely amazing. I love the sound from, let me make here, from 3,000 to 4,000, and then from 5,900 and all the way. Here. Then here it gets better. Sounds amazing. Alright, so this is the V6. Now let's switch to a V8, a 60 degrees V8 engine. let me find it first. Right, where is it? All right, here we go. We have comp V6, now comp V8. All of them are made in 2018. As you can see, let's start from the beginning. We have a 60 degrees 8-cylinder engine, aluminium block material. As you can see, the same specs, 86 on bore and stroke, same door overhead camshaft with 4 valves per cylinder, aluminium heads, VVL, cast internals, low friction cast pistons. 10.5 to 1 is the compression ratio, 35/75 VVT all cams, naturally aspirated, direct fuel injection, single standard 95, 15 here, 50 here, 6500. We have short cast headers, dual exhaust, 2-inch exhaust diameter as before, high flow 3-way, no first muffler, reverse flow second muffler. This is very similar as the V6. All the specs are the same, but we have extra 2 cylinders here. Let's fire this beast up and see. As you can see, we have 290 horsepower, 263 pound-feet torque for a 4-liter V8. This is also very healthy. It's very economical. It's reliable. As you can see, it's a little bit heavy. It's smoother than a V6. It has good responsive to it. It's quiet with a sporty noise to it. Let's see. All right, let's fire it up. As you can hear, it sounds very elegant at idle. As you can see, because it idles very low. Let me show you. It idles at 600 RPM and it makes 192 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go high. Higher than this. Very smooth, very quiet. Very good, very smooth, very quiet actually. And now let's see. Now let's switch to a performance package and see what's the difference here. As you can see, we have standard intake manifold, short U runners, small. We have a small throttle body, and of course we have a standard airbox. Let's switch to a performance. As you can see, longer runners, a bigger intake manifold, bigger throttle body, and of course a bigger and much more high flow airbox and air filter. Of course, the exhaust will now go from reverse flow to straight through mufflers, and as you can see, this is the result from 290 to 299, nearly 300 horsepower, more torque, more horsepower. As you can see, it's lighter, fuel economy. I think it has increased, and the engine is much more noisier. We started at 40 points, now it's 57, and let's fire this beast up and see. And as you can see, directly out of the box, it's louder at idle because we have a smooth camshaft and a very aggressive VVL profile. So as you can see, it's very smooth even with the performance intake and exhaust. Right now it sounds very good, very amazing, especially at here 1000 RPM. Seems like nearly idle like real life. Let's say 800-900 RPM. It will be amazing. Now let's switch to a racing intake manifold and racing exhaust. As you can see, it's similar to the V6. All the 60 degrees intake manifold will look, all of them will look very much similar. Bigger and made from carbon fiber intake manifold, aluminium runners, as you can see, carbon fiber snorkel, no airbox, same size of the throttle body. The exhaust, let's remove the muffler, the second one. We have a straight through pipe, and let's see the result. We have 308 horsepower. Look at it, look at the difference in power and more torque. It's 30% now. It's more fuel economical, and it's of course less reliability because of the racing intake manifold and intake system, because a lot of dust and crap will go in the engine, and that means the engine will get destroyed quicker than a regular engine. But still, 59 points is really good for a zero quality, everything zero quality. It's lighter because no airbox and the intake made from carbon fiber. And let's see, it's extremely loud now, 78 points. Now let's fire it up. Oh, check out the difference. That's a V8. Sounds amazing. I love V8 sound. The V8s are just an absolute perfect. I mean, the sound, the note, the torque, the power. I mean, who doesn't love a V8? A V8 is always will be the most favorable engine ever made. I mean, of course, all of us likes the RBs, the 2JZ, and of course BMW V8s and V12s, but a V8 will always be a V8. I mean, of course, some of you guys don't like Chevy, some of you like Fords. Ford make good V8s, like the Coyote, Chevrolet makes the LS, and BMW makes V8s, AMG, Mercedes make V8s. Oh, I mean, V8s is just an absolute thing. Even Japan made V8s. Who doesn't love V8s? A lot of Japanese cars here in Riyadh and Saudi Arabia, a lot of them, like for example the Toyota Land Cruiser, the bigger one, comes with a V8. The Toyota Sequoia also comes with a V8. Every country should make a V8. It will be an absolute amazing thing. And all the V8s nearly sounds the same, except if they have like a racing camshaft in them, they will sound very aggressive. But you know, generally all of them sound absolutely amazing. All right, now let's switch to a V12 and see what's the difference. Of course, a V12 means we have extra 4 cylinders than the V8, but a V12 is a very smooth engine. I mean, you will not believe how smooth it is. Let me find it first. Am I blind or something? I don't know where I'll be. Ah, here we go. Here we go, the V12. Alright. Let's start from the beginning. We have a V-shaped 60 degrees 12 cylinder engine, aluminum block, 86 bore and stroke, which equals 6 liter. We have a dual overhead camshaft, 4 valves per cylinder, aluminium VVL. Basically everything is the same internals, same compression ratio, same camshaft, same technologies, naturally aspirated, direct fuel injection, single throttle body. Yeah, a single throttle body, standard intake manifold, 95, 15, 50, 6500, pretty much the same. 2-inch exhaust diameter, dual exhaust pipes, short cast, high flow 3-way Carrera converters, no first muffler, reverse flow twin mufflers because dual exhaust pipes. As you can see, it's very powerful, 390 horsepower. I mean, it's a 6-liter V8. It should be more powerful than this, but it's still very good. The torque is very good. Look at this, check out the smoothness. 92.5. The engine is like, it's like a cream pie, very smooth, very cool, and it's responsive. It's as always 40 points on the quietness, and the emissions are low, and it's economical. 30.4%. That's very economical. It's very heavy, nearly 300 kilograms, and it's very reliable, nearly 80 points, which is very reliable. 99 on the engineering time, a little bit too much, but remember, this is a V12. It requires more engineering, more production to be made. You have a 12 cylinders, and production unit is a little bit high too. Alright, so let's fire it up in its standard form. As you can hear, it sounds very smooth at idle. It idles at 500 RPM, very slow idle speed. 280 pound-feet of torque at idle. That's good. Alright, sounds very quiet, very smooth. But some of you guys, actually I received some good amount of comments about that this is not a real V12 sound. Yes, it doesn't really sound like a V12 that I heard before. I mean, some cars sound like this with a V12, but like for example 60-65% of V12 cars doesn't sound like this. But a V12 is a V12, and there are actually some cars that does sound like this. So I will not deny anything. This is how automation made the sound, and it's good. It's not bad, but they should tweak it more so they can make it more real. Now let's switch to a performance intake manifold. As always, it will be longer runnels, 12 longer runnels. We have a bigger intake manifold, sorry, and we have a bigger, of course, throttle body and a performance intake box or air box and a performance air filter. Of course, the exhaust will switch to a straight through, and let's see. Alright, so we have 407 horsepower, 389 pound-feet of torque. Of course, the engine will get lighter intake manifold and lighter intake and air box. Let's see, more fuel efficient. And let's see, it's more noisy, still the same smoothness. Everything is pretty much the same, and it will require less time to be engineered. And actually, I don't understand why. Standard intake manifold will take 99 on the engineering time. Yes, I know why. Of course, the throttle, the mufflers, these straight-through mufflers doesn't require that much time. But if we switch back here, it will still be 99. All right. So the mufflers does the trick. Alright, let's fire it up and see the difference in sound. It's a little bit louder. I think it sounds very weird. I mean, with the performance intake manifold, it sounds really, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a V12, but I don't really like the sound of this V12, especially in the performance intake. I don't know, it sounds really wacky, really, you know, there is no note to it. The note is very annoying, I think, unlike the real V12s. Alright, so now let's switch to a racing intake manifold and see what will happen. As you can see, as always, in aluminium 12 runners, carbon fiber intake manifold, this, you know, the same package. And now let's switch to a no muffler. Alright, let's see, we have, look at the power, 422 horsepower. Wow, this exhaust is choking the engine, and this intake made a really big difference. And look at the fuel economy. You have an extra 1% more. That's good. It's less heavy weight and less engineering time, extremely loud. And now let's go and fire it up. Yes, now you can hear it much clear. Oh, what is this sound? Listen. Sounds like the engine is ticking. Listen to it at let's say from 3,400 and up. I love the sound from 3,400, 500 and to the max. Listen. Wow, when you stick it to 3,500 and then put your foot down, the engine actually will purr like a cat. Wow, that's amazing. I mean, it sounds much better with a racing intake manifold and a racing exhaust system. That's much better. It sounds much better than a performance intake manifold and a performance exhaust. That's for sure. So these are all the 60 degrees V engines. Well, which one did you like? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Personally, I prefer the V8. In any engine, I prefer the V8. But it's up to you. You may like a V6, you may like a V12, and stay tuned because soon I'm gonna make another video, a third video of the 90 degrees V-shaped engines. The 6 and the 8 and of course the 60 and the 10 and the 6 and the 16 cylinders. So in the next video I will do it very soon. We will have 4 engines instead of 3, and that will be very exciting. So again, I would love to hear your thoughts below in the comment section, and of course if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, get subscribed if you are new to my channel, and of course watch all my previous videos and share the video if you want to share it. And of course if you want to request an engine or a car in automation game, write it in the comment section below, or I would prefer that very much if you can go to my Patreon page and write your request over there, so I can keep the channel very organized, and so I don't forget any requested video. So thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna see you very soon with that video that I promised, and of course as always, thank you so much for watching, my friends. I will see you very soon, and goodbye for now.